Good morning. Market opens in a little less than 5 minutes here. All right, so this morning I have done pretty good pre-market. I've shorted INVO and ANTE, and I did take a long trade on ANPC for the break of the VWAP. This one has a really low float, but I did get in right here. I saw a bunch of buying at around the 80s and 90s, and I took a trade to the long, got out up here, and I'm up 100 on that one as well. So I did take one long trade today, and but I'm not intending to take many trades to the long side today. So the two stocks I've traded, INVO. Let's look at this one real quick. So this I traded right here. I think my average price was let's see here. It was 613. So I shorted it for this move right here. Really nice break. Yeah, ANPC doesn't really seem like a 1 million share float for sure. If it was, I think it would have, broke above the VWAP and continued, but it also could just be this market we're in. So I had a really nice short trade on INVO right here at around 7:30 in the morning. And then the other stock I'm up on, ANTE. This one, it was, let's see here. What was my entry? Don't remember my entry, but I think it was just this VWAP. So both of my trades here with about 500 profit on each of them were shorts below the VWAP breaking down, and then plus 100 trading ANPC to the long. We have a minute and 40 seconds to the market open. I don't really see a very clear trade for me right now at the market open, but I might trade INVO to the downside, but it is pretty. INVO has a lot of room to come down on the day, but looks like I'm just kind of missing a okay entry there, but I might just sit at the market open and watch and see what's happening and see if anything else interesting comes up. I could watch ANPC to the long, but I didn't feel nearly as comfortable taking the trade I did on this one as I did on my shorts. So I think I might, this one could really rip if it actually does have a 1.37 million share float. So 30 seconds to the market open. I'm not going to take any crazy entries. So I might try and get into INVO. Because it does have a lot of room to the downside. I just don't want it to come up on the VWAP here. So I'm watching INVO. So INVO coming up a little bit. So the VWAP's all the way up at 603. In a perfect world, it would come all the way up to the VWAP and reject that price. But I don't know about that all the way down here below 550. INVO does have a lot of news. So I'm watching INVO here as it gets closer to the whole dollar. So I'm just taking a starter short on INVO at 580. So I got in with 476 shares right at 580, right before it dropped there, and watching this to see if it comes up any higher, test the VWAP. I don't want it to break above the VWAP. If it probably won't, but if it broke above the VWAP, that's immediately when I'm stopping out. And below 550, I might add to this trade, but I'm going to wait and see what it does up here. VWAP is 596 right here. So I'm shorting again here, and this could be a trade that I have to stop out on. So it's above the VWAP. I want to see it drop. I'm going to take half off here. So giving a little bit back on this one right now. So I'm getting back in here on INVO for coming below the VWAP. Stopping out with half again. So this one's getting me kind of good here at the market open. I'm all out. So gave back a good amount of my pre-market profits there on INVO, trying to see if it will reject the VWAP, but it's above the VWAP now. It has good news, so I'm not going to be shorting that one anymore. Hola, Didiana. So it looks like ANPC took off. It's the 20 exponential moving average. I don't really use the 10-second chart a whole lot. INVO. I don't use the moving averages on the 10-second chart a whole lot. I'll use it just to be watching to see when a break starts on a smaller time frame from where the candles are, but not necessarily the moving average. So INVO has halted. So more often than not, when a stock is trending down like this pre-market and coming up to test the VWAP, it will come up and reject it. INVO, so that's what I was trading INVO to the short side, was to come up and drop down below VWAP. Unfortunately, it didn't. It has some pretty solid news. So it's got approval to import an infertility treatment to Mexico. So I did give back nearly half of my daily profits at the market open, but still sitting up 613, which is a good amount. So I'm going to watch INVO and see how it trades. It has an 8.3 million share float, and it halted at 11,426,000 shares of volume. ANPC is at almost 15 million shares of volume here, and it looks like it can't really make up its mind, but it's below the VWAP right at the moment, but I don't know how much that matters. ANPC is one that, you know, can't really time entries too well. At least I don't think I could time an entry too well on it. And I don't know what an entry would be right here on this, so So right now, I would say that watching INVO and seeing what it does and maybe shorting it later today. It halted just about 4 minutes ago. So resumption will be in a minute and 10 seconds. Looks like ANPC back up at its halt level here. So ANPC trying to get over 11. Halt levels 11.24. Halt level moved up. So INVO has resumed and it's halting, going up again, or trying to. Not taking any trades. INVO is halted again. So it's a good thing I got out of this because I was short right here at the VWAP. Gave back about $500. Repeatedly trying to capitalize on it turning around, but we win some and we lose some. So it's nice to see some more movement to the long at the market open. ANPC. Looks like over $12 looks like an all-time high. 12.18 is the all-time high on this stock that I can see here. So blue skies if it gets up above $12. So the halt time was 42:41. So we'll see resumption in 2 minutes on INVO. On the daily chart for INVO, it does look like $6. Wait, let's see here. It does look like 750 was kind of a level, but it's already above that. I don't know about trying to time this one on a reversal for a short, but I might do it with smaller share size. Looks like 830. Yeah, 830 here is another level. So ANPC dropped down. XELA is making a nice move. So resumption in about 20 seconds here on INVO. Or not 20 seconds, sorry, it was 40. So we're about 10 seconds to resume on INVO at 47.41 or 47.42. So if it doesn't resume, it could go into a longer halt. So looks like INVO is halted for another 5 minutes. And PC is coming down. EYES would have been a good short for me, but not easy to borrow here at light speed. So I'm going to reload my charts here. Looks like my computer's struggling a little bit. Morning, Jacob. So resumption in less than 2 minutes on INVO if it's a 10-minute halt. So right now I'm just watching INVO to see what it will do here on resumption in about 10 seconds if it's a 10-minute halt. And oh, resumed way up at 850. And it is going up and trying to halt at 946. So this one has been pretty strong here. Pre-market, it was trending down below the VWAP. But once the market opened, shot up, hesitated just above the VWAP, and now has gone up $3 more from 6 to 9, halting at 946. So impressive move on INVO. I don't think it had much of a short float, but 0.21% short float is what I see for INVO, so that's not really a factor that I can see. It looks like in 2020 it had a couple days where it made some really big moves like this and didn't hold the level. So that's why I'll be looking to maybe time a reversal, because here in March it went from opened up at 766 and went to 1638 and then back down to 838. Here it's done it a couple times on smaller levels. Let's see. In July 1st, it opened up at 7, went to basically 11 and back to 6. And right now it's, if you look at the daily chart, let's see if this is a, so not perfect, but here's a trend line of these highs. So look at that. So this move started on Friday after hours Here's the daily or the 5-minute chart on Friday. So here was the market on Friday, and then the market closed, and then it came up from basically low threes up to tapping $6 here at 5.96 after hours in 20 minutes. So it almost doubled in 20 minutes after hours on Friday. Then pre-market today continued up until 7:39 and then trended down pre-market, bouncing out the VWAP a few times. I made about $600 shorting it right here for this move, and again right here, I believe, but I tried to short it for a bounce off the VWAP and gave back, you know, 500 of my $600 profit on this one as it ripped here and then got out before it started this big move up. So what goes up must come down. So at some point it's going to stop going up. And I might try and time that reversal, but that's way more less predictable of an entry than some. So might do it with small share size, or I might not try and time it at all. So the halt time was 9:53:14, so should be resuming right about now. Could be another 10-minute halt. So XELA has done pretty well here in pre-market and the market open. XELA technology wins 90 million contract for cloud-hosted PCH Global, delivering healthcare solutions for major U.S. insurer. So that's the catalyst driving XELA. So 3 minutes to resumption for a 10-minute halt on INVO. So ANPC looks like it's not making, not getting above the pre-market highs. ANPC. So it's coming back down below VWAP. So it didn't quite get to make an all-time high during regular trading hours today, but it did pre-market. All-time high is 1218. It reached 1209, and in pre-market it reached 1260. So looking for resumption in here in 10 seconds on INVO. This was the third halt going up. So it resumed. Wow. Impressive. This one's very volatile. So going for its fourth halt here, maybe. Yeah, this one's way too volatile for me to try and get an entry here. If I wasn't live streaming, I probably would have not had the patience to not get into this one. And that's why I think live streaming overall in the long run is going to help me with my trading, because I have to be a little bit, or I feel a little bit more of a need to be accountable for not doing anything too crazy. Now, last week that kind of went out the window, but this week back in the groove, just not doing anything crazy. A lot of people who trade struggle with not being able to take the trades they want to just because of a mental, I don't know, mental block or fear of actually getting into a trade. And I have the opposite. I'm too sometimes I'm too I don't really have any problem jumping into trades, so I have to dial it back a little bit because I could easily have a bad day being in the wrong direction on a move on INVO. So I don't expect this one to go any higher today, but you never know. So halt time was 10:40, 10:04:44. So we have a minute and 24 seconds. The other one I had a good trade on pre-market was ANTE, but the spreads were a little bit bigger and it didn't. It wasn't as predictable as INVO was pre-market. That was a really nice trade that I had on this pre-market. Right here. Got in at 613 and got out. I don't remember where exactly I got it, but maybe 550. I think it was 549 and 548 right here. So 20 seconds. I'm just not really interested in getting smoked on this one, so sitting it out for now. fun to watch. XELA doing amazing. I'm shorting it here at 910. The moving average on the daily chart at 940. So I'll get out at 950 if I can. If it, adding the rest there. Nice. Want to see it get below 850 and hold below 850. Watching closely. Stopping out with half. So ideally I want to be in this for a bigger move to the downside. But right now, you know, it still could continue a lot higher. Probably not, but okay, I'll just get out of that. So gave back about 100 something. So gotta be patient. I'm starting to feel a little bit not in the right mindset, so um, yeah. After this trade, I might just call it a day. So I think I'm gonna call it a day here. I don't want to overstay my welcome. I'd rather have a small small green day than, you know, get off track and have a red day and maybe some bigger losses. So for now, done with INVO for sure. Now, so things I could have done differently would be smaller share size when I'm trying to get in on a move without a really good entry. So that could have helped there. Patience. Patience is important. So INVO halted again, going up at 10:20, 10:28. It's always a little bit of a disappointment if you let it be a disappointment to you know, be up quite a bit and then give back most of your profit, which is what I have done. But profit is profit. It's a whole lot better than something else. So this one has low volume. MFIN, RMO, hitting the scanners. RMO around 1140, maybe a short, since it's coming up on this daily level, but this is a larger float stock that's more resembles, well, not really. Doesn't resemble the overall market at all. Good job calling that on INVO, Robert. I was going to short RMO at 11:30, but I didn't take the trade just because it's come up pretty much all the way to this moving average on the daily chart. There isn't really much news or any news that I see, but didn't take the trade. Would have been a nice trade. So we should have resumption on INVO here shortly. About 5 seconds. Wow. Look at that. Impressive. I think, yeah, for INVO, just have to sit it out for now and wait until there's a downtrend sometime later if I were to trade it later. But I already let it get me pretty good, so from up 600 on it to down 300 on that stock. Currently up 206 before commissions, so probably up about 100, 120 something. So this daily profile is pretty you can't even see the volume candles on these other days where it spiked up. See these little, barely you can see some red and green down there. So that's the volume profile for the last year or so, or 2 years, 3 years. So pretty impressive. Impressive volume on the day for INVO. But every time it came up, those last times it came right back down. Minute and a half to resumption. So EYES could have been a great short. It's just not easy to borrow for me, so I didn't even watch that one to short it. 50 seconds to resumption on INVO. Five seconds. So it came down there and almost tapped this moving average, and now coming back up. Just moves so fast. Back over 11. $11.58's the high of this last candle. So I shorted 269 shares at 10.23 here going into this halt. If anything happens to the live stream, it's because I am um, sharing one laptop charger for 2 laptop mornings. So um, I'm at 17. I was at pretty much 100 at the start of the day, and I'm at 17% on my main laptop and 13 on my um, streaming laptop. So obviously I'm going to prioritize my trading laptop. But I do have another charger on the way. So about 2 minutes. You plug it in over there. Okay. So INVO breaking down a little bit here. Ideally, I want to turn this into a longer time frame trade. If it can come down to the VWAP, not bounce too high off of it, that I'll have to stop out, and then eventually trend down throughout the rest of the day. That's the goal. That's the ideal situation. I think the only time that I would add to this would be if it drops below VWAP and then comes back up and tests the VWAP. So the fact that this 5-minute candle came up and closed above this moving average, and now the high of this last candle is 991, isn't that great for me. But I'm not really trying to scalp this one. I'm more in it for a downtrend. So my price is 1023. I don't really want to be red on the day. But I think I'm keeping my stop all the way up around 11. Could be a bad decision, but there was a lot of selling here, and I don't know. Robert's getting distracted by GME. Yep, that's happened to me quite a few times, but I haven't even looked at it today. Okay, I see. I just shorted INVO some more here at 968 in anticipation of breaking below this candle right here. The low is 968, so I was trying to time it right for this break. There we go. I thought about getting in right here at 1016 when it broke below this 1 minute candle, and I didn't do it, but instead took that entry on the 5 minute chart, which puts me at a little bit of a disadvantage. So the high of this last 5 minute candle is 1020. So breaking above that would be, a little bit of a breakout on the 5 minute chart. So that would work against me. Shoot. All right, took a loss there on INVO. So at this point, this one's got me really good. I was up $600 on it, I think, at the market open, and all the way down to minus 850 on this stock and minus 328 on the day. So not so. What can I learn from this? Well, from right now, I can learn that I'm once again taking trades on stocks, trying to time when they're going to be coming down, and I'm doing it above the VWAP. When I short stocks based off the VWAP, I do great, usually. For example, on this very stock, pre-market, right here, made $600 shorting it from here to here. And I proceeded to, well, since I was up 600 to minus 850, I've proceeded to lose $1,250 on this stock. I'm only down 330, but on this stock, I've given back $1,250, stopping out at the very high here on this. Most likely, I mean, it could trend down, but going in with, bigger size. I don't want to risk it going above 11 here. So have to stop out there with a, about a $500 or $600 loss on that trade. So the lesson today on this one, I'm trying to time the entries. I'm trying to get in for a move to the downside without real entries, and it's not working. And it's not going to work too often because, this stock is up a whole bunch. It's above the VWAP, consolidating, and now moving higher. So with that being said, green on the week. I don't want to continue to trade a whole lot more today. Usually when I'm up quite a bit, I was up, I think, 1,200. Usually when I'm up quite a bit like that and then come back and go all the way into the red, historically, that's when I make my red days worse and worse and worse, to the point where it could, make it impossible to be a profitable trader in the overall, as demonstrated last week. So what I don't want to do is stay here and just make my losses worse and worse and worse. And I've had the wrong idea trading this one since the market opened. Pre-market, no problem trading around the VWAP. So I could just wait for the VWAP. or I could use way smaller size until the VWAP. That's probably what I need to do is when I'm trying to short stocks when they're, you know, extended to the upside. I need to, if I'm going to do it, I need to use smaller size. I don't really need to use smaller size when I'm trading around the VWAP. But look at that, stopped out right at $11 with my whole position, and not a bad decision because there's the risk that it kept going higher, but costly all the same. So there it comes, back to my price. Always a little bit frustrating when I do that, so I need to figure out how to not do that moving forward. So I would be break even on that trade right here. So I think I had the right idea, but the share sizing not suitable for staying in that trade. Maybe I didn't have the right idea. Maybe it will just continue higher. Not sure if that's a good trend line, but I'll just stick it there. Yep, not no clean moves for sure. So took a small position at $10. So my daily max loss is 500, sitting down 328 realized loss. Nice job, Jason. If only I kept to my best setup pre-market where I was up 600 and didn't try and time this, then I'd be good. But guess I'm always learning. What trades did you take on INVO, Jason? So that does it for me. If I were to take one more red trade, I'd be down 500. So probably just getting stopped out on this, and then it'll come back down. You know, but I can't afford to keep taking the trades I am on this stock. So I'm gonna call the day here. Down 485, not a big deal. I think yesterday I was up 700 before commissions, so probably about, including commissions, about break even on the week now. Probably a little bit in the green. And I'm not importing my trades. I'm not even loading my or not even looking at my broker website to see where my account changes every day. I think just focusing on each individual day like that, as opposed to what I'm doing good and what I'm not doing good, is going to help me the most. So finishing the day minus 485, 78 before commissions, and I'm going to shut this down immediately. I'm going to do it during the live stream so that there's no chance that I stay and take any more trades after the fact, because I've been prone to do that occasionally, and usually it's not a good decision. Right now, you know, red on the day, I don't want to trade my P&L, and I can come back tomorrow with after a good rest, fresh mind, and yeah, this stock is super all over the place. Looks like it's halting, coming down now at 980. So this might end up being the big move that I was looking for in my shorts here, but I don't want to risk just giving back more and more to the point where it becomes a detrimental loss. This loss today, not a big deal. So what I've learned today is that sticking to my bread and butter trades off the VWAP is ideal. Now, granted, when the market opens and you start seeing huge moves like this, it's very hard to not take trades on a stock like this, because anyone sitting here looking at this that understands the moves they're making can see the potential for insane profits. So focusing on the profits is not the way to be a profitable trader for me. For me, it is focusing on managing my risk. And on my trades off the VWAP and some moving averages pre-market, I was way cleaner, way more predictable, way easier to get out without a big loss than trading a stock that's moving around like INVO has been here. So should I not even try and trade these? I think it's good for me to try and be trading up here, but the position size I'm using, probably I'm comfortable using larger positions on the trades I was doing today off the VWAP and the moving averages. But up here, I don't know when I'm going to start doing it, but I should probably scale down my position sizing for trying to time stocks that are going to be reversing. So I don't really even want to watch this when it resumes. It resumes in a few minutes. So yeah, I don't know how I could manage the risk on trading this anymore. You see this last 5-minute candle where it halted. It has a range of 1175 to 980, and I'm using 500 something shares. So I can't really afford to stick around and then plunge 500 shares into this and not have a good entry. And it's really looking like it's going to start coming down, and it has a lot of room on the daily chart. But yeah, as Robert's pointing out right now, in less than 1 hour, it's crossed the 9 EMA moving average, 9 exponential moving average. This line right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 times. So it's hard to trade this one. On the 3-minute candle, I don't really ever look at the 3-minute candle. I get so maybe you can watch this in real time and see if see how true it is, but so many times on days like this, I say I'm going to be done, and then I'm not. Usually it works against me, but I am watching this resume just to see what it does. After a candle like that, it's hard to believe that it would come right back up, but I'll just watch it potentially make the move I was trading for. So came down and tapped the VWAP there. So the way it's, Robert's pointing out the way that it's not respecting the moving averages, it's really hard to get good entries and to, be sure about things on this one. And it might be the same for the VWAP here. It might hang around the VWAP. It might go below, come back up numerous times. You never know. So dropping down below the VWAP, we're trying to. VWAP is at 926. So there we get the break below VWAP. I think that's the right idea, Robert. It's just I need to actually do that, actually execute that. When it's not so good of a entry like trading up here, I use too much of a position to be able to withstand going into the red much. So I need to use much smaller position size. Yes, yep. So I think I short at support because that's where I always see the quick breaks when it does come down, but I guess that doesn't help when I'm not very sure about it breaking down. So yep, 3.5 million share float and a whole bunch of volume, kind of like EYES. the other day. Which would have been a great short, but I appreciate your outside perspective on my short entries. It's good for me to hear that so I can think about everything a little bit better. That's probably why you've been taking some of the complete opposite trades of me and doing well. So I'm just going to practice having a really small position for me here, because when I'm in a trade with something like 100 shares, I just want to add to it. It's an instinct of mine because, you know, if I'm in a trade, this trade, 100 shares to the short establishes that I have a belief that this stock is going to go down. And since I believe this stock is going to go down, why would I not want to capitalize on it more than 100 shares? So that's why, I'm always using larger share size, because even if it's not going to do what I am wanting it to do, or hoping it to do, I go all in trying to capitalize on what I am predicting or trading that it will do. So I'm just going to test myself by just holding 100 shares here and not add to it at all. Maybe below the VWAP if it ever does get down there and reject it, but I'll just sit here with 100 shares, and that way I can be more comfortable. It's kind of funny. I'm more comfortable or like feel better about trades when I'm using more size. And that's kind of backwards from how it probably should be. So for this trade right here with the 100 shares, I'm just didn't pay too much attention to the entry, as far as I've already screwed up on this stock quite a bit. So I'm just going to sit here with my 100 shares. If it goes up $1 or something like that, I won't be too concerned. Or yeah, so Robert, are you saying I should, would it be smart to get out of this trade if well, obviously, you probably wouldn't have taken this trade in the first place, so you'd probably get out of it. So probably being smart, I should get out of this right now and wait until it does come up to where it has been coming up to before, if that's what you're saying. I didn't really take this last trade trying to be strategic about my entry, more just thinking about my feeling and my emotions of wanting to add to a position once I have it. Like, for example, when I'm in a good trade, same thing goes for taking profit. When I'm in a good trade, like a longer time duration trade than scalping or anything, like this stock in the morning back here, when I was in this short right here from here to here, made about $600. Once I started taking profit, I took half my profit off. I had kind of like an urge to take more profit, and I just don't. Once I start taking profit, even though there's plenty of room for a stock to come down, I'll want to take more profit and just get out of the trade, as opposed to taking some profit and letting it run some more. And that happened here on this one pre-market. That happened on this one here at pre-market. I'm just kind of ignoring it. That one happened here on pre-market. I'm more concerned about figuring out my emotions trading than this one 100 share trade. So I shorted this great entry right here for it to come down here, and then I took half my profit at 549 or something like that. This candle is kind of erratic. That's just because there were orders coming through from institutions or something from the 8 o'clock, whatever, the orders that come through at 8 o'clock but aren't from real time. And I took out my profit off here, and then I immediately wanted to take the rest of my position off, and it continued lower and didn't really have much resistance on the daily chart, and it continued all the way down to a low of 510. And just because of that like emotion or urge to take all my profit once I took some, it's kind of strange. I don't always experience that, but I'm not really and I think that's kind of the same for my share size. If let's just say I had a good entry on INVO up here. So let's just say I did look at the range and realize, well, it's failing this level repeatedly. So it came, let's just say it came up here, and I shorted 100 shares at 11.20 or $11 or something like that. Let's say I did that. I would want to add, I would have like a emotion or urge to add the rest of my account here because it's my belief it's going to go down. And I'm very strong in my beliefs. So if I think it's coming down, why not go in with more share size and just take advantage of what I think is going to happen here, and be better off for using more shares. So I need to be comfortable. There it comes down. I need to be comfortable using less share size. I think that's very important for me to actually implement, which is what I'm doing here with these 100 shares. It's just sitting in a 100 share position when I could, have a whole bunch more and be okay about it. I don't have to fully capitalize on the share size. So the losses on INVO today for me are because I get impatient, and then so there were numerous stocks this morning that had reasonable trades for me to the short side, so I took those, did well, and then market open, and there wasn't really anything good for me. There wasn't anything, any good short that I had on my eyesight, so I was, trying to find something to trade. And of course, INVO made this crazy move up from $6 or from 5.22 all the way up to over 12 eventually. And I was trying to short it all the way here after the first time it started, did some consolidation here, a halt to the downside. I was shorting it, and I should know by now that it's probably not over at this point. So I need to be way more patient. If there's a stock like INVO that, yes, I could be shorting sometime in the day, I need to be way more patient and wait for it to actually be tradable for me. And when it's whipsawing around, with huge range and unpredictability, not respecting moving averages, no really solid trend lines or anything like that, I need to sit back, sit on my hands, and be patient. And if I am taking entries, as you guys I think are pointing out to me, I need to be careful about where I'm taking my entries. If I'm taking them down at support, then even if I'm not using big share size, I'm, asking for losing trades doing so, because, well, it's going to go up towards support and I'm going to be down, in this case, $1 or more. And that's where if I were taking the entries the share sizing would really help for sure. But where I could also have a lot better entries to the short side if I'm trying to do that. So Robert says, look at some of the previous wick rejections. Starter there and add break of VWAP. 5-minute candle, $11 key area for short potential. So yeah, if I recognized right here that it's repeatedly, coming up and dropping down in the same candle, and 11 no candles have closed. There's no body of a candle over $11 here. If you just stick that trend line right in here, all you see is wicks, candle wicks. So astute observations that are good that you're pointing them out to me, so I can see that, and hopefully pay more attention to a range. I need to pay more attention to the range that stocks like this have, and the wicks, and my share size. So thank you very much for pointing all this out to me. It's going to help a lot. I just have to implement what I'm learning. It's very common for me to not implement things that I kind of see happening. So I really need to actually make a change. Smaller share size up above the VWAP. Thank you very much, Zeke and Robert, for helping me out with this. So Robert says if he could hold his trades, he would be a brilliant trader. Over and over, beautiful entries, but can't hold. Why do you think that is? What's what's preventing you from holding your trades longer, Robert? Fear of loss. So here's what we need to do, Robert. We need to combine ourselves, and you take the trade and then I manage it. How's that sound? Except maybe you can set the overall stop. Let's make it happen. Yeah, you could have capitalized a bit more on that, but we can all capitalize a little bit more, but it's not about getting the full move for sure. I'm trying to find a YouTube video I saw that was really, really helpful. Let's see. So I imagine I can post the link to a YouTube video in the live stream chat. Let me see. So I don't know. I'd be interested to hear your feedback, but this is, I think, a series of 6 or 7 videos, and I think a lot of the stuff he talks about is really good. And in one of them, he talks about how a lot of traders constantly, um, you know, constantly move their stop. Like, say if you're in that trade to the long side on INVO, as it goes up, constantly are moving your stop up as opposed to and stopping out when you're, have some profit, as opposed to waiting for, the move that you think could happen. And so, what was I going to say? He talks about that and how when you take the trade, you're already accepting the risk of losing however much you would if you were to stop out when it doesn't go in your direction. So you've already accepted that risk in and you've already accepted the potential reward if you have an idea of where it might go. But if you've already accepted that risk and it fits into your trading plan, I think he talks about how there's no reason to move your stop up as the trade goes up, just because you already accepted that risk. The likelihood of the trade coming back down even after you're in the green a little bit and you stopping out is still there, but it fits the trading plan, and you're never going to have the big winners if you have that fear of loss and don't let your winners run. So he talks about how when you before and the moment you take the trade, I think he talks about how you've already accepted that risk. It's already a real possibility when you took the trade. So if you can accept it then you just accept it all the way through the trade, and it might go up instead of your 37 cents. It might go up a whole dollar and come back down and you stop out. But if it fits your trading plan, then yeah, so I'll post that. It's a series of 6 or 7 videos. I'm not sure which one, but I just put that in the chat. We'll see if it shows up, if it works. Yeah, so maybe watch that later today and let me know what you think. He trades, he's not trading small cap stocks, but so if any of you guys watch those videos, I'd be interested to hear what you got out of it. It looks like there's 7 of them, so I think it's about 2 hours overall. But I liked him. So INVO coming down here. Just holding my 100 shares. I'll try and find one more video that I also liked as well, but we'll figure it out, Robert. We'll figure it out. So here's another video that might be helpful. I don't know if these videos have any conflicting views or opinions or anything, but here's another one just in case it helps with the fear of loss. Those are some I've seen recently that seem to be helpful for in some way with my trading. So for any of those people watching this live stream that aren't chiming in the conversation here, I'm finding it really helpful to have outside opinions and conversations about what I'm struggling with, because we all are better and not so good at different things. So if you get an outside opinion on your trading, then it might help you if you can learn from another perspective. So if you want to talk about it here in the chat, you can do that, or any of your other trading buddies or anything like that might help you out. Awesome. Nice job, Jason. 953. So you got in right here for the drop, breaking down below above the VWAP, flushed through the VWAP, and had a nice exit at 834. Awesome. Do you foresee on the longer time frame that this will come down quite a bit today? The other days where it's come up a whole bunch, it's come back all the way, but they didn't have nearly as much volume as today. Maybe not the news either. I would be more inclined to like scale into this trade on, as it comes up here. In fact, There I just added 100 shares at 850, 852. Above the VWAP? You think it'll come back above the VWAP? That's I don't, but I haven't been very right on this stock, so so this is where I screw up is, I think it's going to be coming down today. So, and it's like Jason is saying, it's very likely for it to come up all the way to VWAP at least and test the VWAP. And if I'm adding down here, my average price is $9.08. So if coming up to the VWAP, I'd be in the red. And if I added a whole bunch more here, my average price would be lower. And then I don't have the room in my longer term trade here to let it come up and test the VWAP and pop above it a little bit maybe, because if that would be, or I don't perceive I have the room to let it do that. And with my, account size and how many shares I'm using, I really don't have the tolerance to do that yet. That's what I did numerous times up here above the VWAP, is I did exactly that. So definitely not adding to this anymore right now. Maybe at the VWAP. So here I am adding to this trade for this break down here. Maybe I should combine a little bit of scalping with a longer term position, and so I shorted it at 872 there for the break below the low of this 5-minute candle. So maybe I should try and take some profit off if it comes lower here. That makes my average 885 with a much bigger position. So if it were to come up to the VWAP, that would be a nice big loss of a couple $100, which I don't want. But I think my when I yeah, I don't know. I think I have a personality where when I want something to happen, I just do anything I can to try and make it happen, and in trading that doesn't always work out. Because I put everything I have into it, and then if it doesn't work the way I want it to, it, you know, it gets me good. You can take a charger. Okay. So I threw an order out at 833 for half of my position there, but hasn't executed on that drop. So I canceled the order. So my entries below VWAP shorting are usually a lot better than my entries above. The half dollar at 8.50 has been a pretty um, significant level here and right now as well. So a lot of pressure here at 8.50. Um, I have some other stocks here, but I'm not really looking at them. No. So getting out of this before it becomes got out of half of it there. So that's a perfect example of me adding and then being uncomfortable with my position size when it is going against me. So I'm going to be done now. Hit my $500 max loss, down 543.65. Learning a little bit from you guys about what I'm doing with some of my short entries and things like that. So I'll mark that off as a success today, but yeah, position sizing, especially above the VWAP, and anytime where the range of what it could do is much greater than what I want to lose if it's going against me. So I'm going to call it a day right now, and I'll be back tomorrow morning. Pretty much break even on the week, but I'm not paying too much attention to that. I don't want it to be in the back of my mind if I'm, red on a previous day or on a week, things like that. So that can hinder my performance the next day if I have that in the back of my mind. So finishing the day minus 543.65. Didn't really lose my mind today P&L wise, but as far as my entries on INVO, trying to take a long-term short position with large size up here didn't work out for me, and it won't work out for me when I'm trading that way. So I did good pre-market and then kind of gave it all back playing with this up here. So I'll be back at it tomorrow morning, and hopefully we have some more good momentum. Seems like the overall market is here's the SPY. So it looks like we're in a good territory here. So hopefully we'll see some more momentum throughout the week, and I'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Have a nice day.